Hello, and welcome to another Scottish mountain walking guide. Once again, I'm in the Black Cullin to climb Basteir and Bruach na Frìthe. Today's walk involves some scrambling, a fair bit of exposure, and a tricky down climb on the bad step, or a traverse to avoid the bad step over slippery and loose rock with a sheer drop below. Definitely one to keep for a dry day. I'll do my best to explain the route in detail at this point. Navigation for the most part is not difficult, with clearly worn paths to follow. There are a couple of exceptions to this, and in cloud the navigation can be quite a bit harder. The total distance is 14 kilometres, with 1,311 metres of ascent. It is estimated to take around 6 hours. There are two small parking laybys near the Skye pub on the A863. Parking is free, there are no height restrictions, and you can probably fit around 25 cars. It's 5 hours drive from Glasgow or Edinburgh. Starting from the lay-by, you head south and follow the gravel path. You will soon come to a large footbridge, cross the bridge and continue to follow the path in a southwesterly direction. After about 1.5 kilometres, the path will join another stream on your left hand side, and you will follow along the side of the stream for about 2 kilometres. Ignore the 2-plank bridge that there is just here, and continue to follow the path along the side of the stream. Up to this point, it has been a gentle incline, but you can see by the contours on the map, it starts to get a lot steeper here. There's a Skye path that goes up the middle here, and then that path splits off at this point. In the walk, I turned to my right and walked along a ledge here. At the end of the ledge, there was a slight easy scramble section heading in a south direction. And as you climb up over here, the terrain becomes a lot more rocky, and therefore the path is harder to follow. I show in detail the twists and turns at this point as you make your way up and over and across these slabs of rock. The path gets a little bit better further on, and then you can follow that all the way around here, and eventually you'll come up to Loch Basteir. From here, you head pretty much directly south, heading across towards the bottom of this large rock face. It's very steep here, but there is a clear gravel path and it heads in a southwesterly direction and starts to ascend up here. A little bit further on, it becomes a bit of a scree slope, similar to the Great Stone Chute, but not quite as hard. You'll make your way up there to the base of this Basteir rock. It's a bit like a shark fin, and this side here is extremely steep and it almost looks vertical from below. The same on the opposite side, very steep and very long drop. From the base of the rock here, you're going to turn to your left and make your way up to the Black here, between Basteir and Cuillin. This is fairly steep coming up here, but nothing difficult. A little bit of scrambling to get up onto the actual Black itself. If you go slightly further to the east, it's a little bit easier. From the Black, you're going to make your way along the ridgeline, keeping to the south side or the left hand side of the ridgeline. And the real challenge comes right about here. And I think I'll zoom in on the satellite image for this one. So this cut here is the bad step. All the way up to this point, it's easy to navigate, some very easy scrambling, and you come to the bad step where there's a drop of about 3 metres. The problem is on your right hand side, you can't see the bottom, it's very exposed. On your left hand side, the drop's a little bit more. I mean, if you slipped, you'd fall a bit more. The trouble is if you don't stop slipping, you're going to go off the edge here, and again you can't see the bottom. The bad step itself is a severe rock climb when you're climbing down, and you'll see all the guides and the people they're bringing along, they're all roped up as they're climbing down here. There are good footholds on the rock face below you, but you can't see them because they're cut into the rock, they don't stick out, so you don't know where they are. So on the walk, I backtracked a little bit. I didn't go along the ridgeline. I followed the ledge that I was on, and the ledge naturally descends. And so you follow that ledge down about 20 or 30 metres. And then there's a little corner where you can easily scramble down. But again, this can be quite dangerous. You're on a ledge, it's quite a steep ledge, and if it was wet, the rock could actually feel like ice and be slippy. Take care as you go down here. Once you descend down to the ledge below, then you can follow that ledge and it takes you up to the bottom of the bad step. And from that point, it's an easy walk all the way up to the summit of Basteir. So from the summit, you retrace your steps. When I got to the bad step, I could see the footholds and I just climbed up it, very exposed. It's an easy rock climb up the way. From there, just follow the ridgeline, keeping to your right hand side as you descend, and make your way back down to the Black. From the Black, just retrace your steps back down to the top of that Skye chute, and then walk along underneath the rock wall of Basteir. You come right along, right below the summit, and make your way up to this little Black here. From here, the path is very clear and obvious along this ridge to the summit of Bruach na Frìthe. The easiest way to descend from Bruach na Frìthe is to retrace your steps back to this point here and follow that path to the north. It's a very gradual descent down there and an easy and clear path to follow. My preference is to head directly off the summit in a northwesterly direction, keeping to the left hand side of this ridge line here and following a fainter path down here. As you make your way down, this is where you've got to be careful. There is a little cairn here, and just beyond the cairn you turn down to the left. The path itself does show signs of wear going straight ahead, but I think it gets quite steep down there. So you want to make your way down this, zigzagging down the Skye here. It's fairly steep, just take your time coming down here, and then you're going to come to a small cairn on top of a rock, and it's quite easy to miss. And at that point you want to turn to your right and follow a very faint path as it makes its way along, kind of in parallel to the ridgeline, and it starts to then get closer and closer until you're back onto the ridgeline. This is the only tricky section. I've done this in the cloud and it's very disorientating, very steep. Make your way along. And once you're on the ridgeline, you just follow the ridgeline, continue to head in a north-northwesterly direction. The path itself splits here. You'll see this path going down to the left. I followed the path down to the right. Descend down here. If it's clear, you'll see these two little lock-ins, and you're heading down towards them. The map shows a path going straight on here. I don't know, I never tried to follow that. This is the main path that most people use to climb up Bruach na Frìthe. My choice was to cut across and then join that path. And then from here it's a very clear and obvious path that you follow down. Eventually you'll come to a little stream. You cross that stream, joining up with a slightly bigger path on the opposite side, and then follow this path, turning to your right. That'll take you straight back out to the A863. When you come out here, you're onto a tarmac road. I just went straight ahead and joined the main road and walked down the side of the road back to the Slaken parking lay-by. Good morning, it's 7:10. I'm parked just up from the Slaken pub at the start of the walk for Basteir, and you can see the Basteir tooth. It has been a long time since I did this walk, and the last time it was in heavy rain and cloud and didn't really get to see very much, so looking forward to this one. From here, cross the road, head for that bridge. Cross the bridge here, and then once on the path on the other side, I think you pretty much just keep to the right at any junctions in the path. It's the same path for the start of Cuillin and Skye. You do not cross the bridge for this walk, just keep to the right hand side of the stream here. It looks like the path splits here. They probably go the same way. I'm going to keep to the left, closer to the stream. I can see those walkers ahead. They left the car park just in front of me. I'm quite slow. But you see where the path goes up the side there and round, so you're not going through the gully. Just curve round to the left to that point. Probably about 2/3 of the way in, but less than half of the altitude climb so far. It's just a gradual, steady ascent up here. Not too steep, good path. You can see Pinnacle Ridge. Quite a big gorge down there to the left. Just going to zigzag my way up this scree slope, and I think you're aiming to go up to that bit at the centre of the frame, but we'll start going across to the right. Climbed up the majority of the main scree section. Looks like the path might split here. I'm going to go to the right along that ledge in the rock line there. Not sure this was the path I meant to take. I think I should have went to the left where it split, but only a wee bit further to go. It is just easy scrambling up here. Come to this point, you want to go back a little bit. The path goes up there and along and then down and crosses just right there in the centre of the frame. That's in front of the lock-in, which is just out of view. You go around the left hand side of the lock-in and then the gravel path, you can easily see it from here, and then up to the left. Make your way around the side here. Faint signs of a path, it comes and goes because of the rock. You can see it ahead, go around there. You get an excellent view of Pinnacle Ridge. Sunbeam behind it isn't helping it coming out. Skye and Geoghegan at the top. Doesn't even look the highest peak from here, just the perspective. Continue along the path here, almost at the bottom of the lock-in. Path is directly ahead. Starts off up to the right. You see the light grey line as it goes round. There are a couple of walkers up there. Once you get to that point at the base of the cliff face, you turn up to the left onto the Black. Later on I'll come back down that same path and then cross over to the right hand side up to the Black there, to do Bruach and FrIthe. Yeah, it's a bit tough coming up there. Not as bad as the Great Stone Chute. A little bit with scree, but not terrible. Once you get to this point, this is where the path splits. So we're going to go left to do Basteir, and then come back down to here and go to the right for Bruach na FrIthe. It's still very steep, almost at the Black onto the ridge, and then you turn to the right, and if my memory serves me correctly, you kind of climb along and up on the left hand side as we're looking. Almost at the top, a little bit to down climb here. I definitely think this is much easier when it's nice and dry. Some of this rock could be quite slippy in the wet. That bit looks a little bit tricky for down climbing with rock boots, so I'm going to go back a bit and then traverse round. Might not have been that bad. There's a good foothold there, another one there. Just can't see from above. Came down slightly easier a bit over there. Right, straight on up. At the summit of Skye and Basteir. So over there is Bruach na FrIthe. It's got a cylindrical trig point on the summit. I think it's a really easy walk from here to get to there, and the descent down the other side is pretty easy. A little bit steep at times, but no scrambling, no difficulties. It's taken just under 2 hours to get here. So to descend back down, retrace your steps. Just climbed up the bad step. It's got quite a few holes there. Different story if it's wet. Easy to up climb. I'm back down at the Black. I'm just going to cut down to the left. Back at this junction on the path below Basteir. So I'm going to go straight ahead this time and up the other side, up to where that person is at the Black, and then continue on to Bruach na Frìthe. It's not too hard coming up this slope. Ground's fairly solid and it's nice being in the shade. Looking at Basteir and Basteir Tooth. That's a bit of a steep hike up there, nice in the shade, glad to be at the top of it. So from here, just keep heading along the ridge. You can see just how steep the drops are on both sides of Basteir. A long drop on that side. Splits just ahead, one goes down below that rock there, the other one goes right up onto the ridge. I'm going to go up into the ridge. I don't think there's any difficulties at all going along the ridge at this point. I think it's just a stroll. We'll soon find out. There's a small pinnacle ridge, it's about 100 metres to the summit in distance. There's a bypass path that goes round further down on the left, but I'm going to have a look at this ridge. Sure, I've done it before and I don't recall it being difficult. At the summit of Bruach na Frìthe.
No, not at all. Down to this 1 metre.
4.5 hours to this point in the walk. You can see across the Skye there. From the summit, you're going to head northwest. You can just make the path out going down the side of the ridge there on the left hand side. Some bits are a bit steeper, but it's not bad. Down on the left you can see where the fairy pools are. And the big white path that leads all the way in from the car park. Just keep your eye out for this path, it's quite faint at times. There are times it takes a left bend and descends a bit and then goes back along by the ridge line. Not going along the top of the ridge here, just a little bit to the left. The summit's just up there. Little bit of down climbing, but very slightly. It's just little steps here and there. This is part of my favourite type of walk. You've got incredible views. You're walking along the side of a mountain. Around here the path goes down to the left. Just zigzags down here a little bit and then goes along. There's a cairn here, and I'm looking at the map using the GPS, and I think this is the path again that cuts across parallel to the ridgeline. It continues along the actual ridge line here a little bit. Down there I can see a walker, and that is pretty much where I'm aiming to go for. So go down here between these two bodies of water, bend round, and then down that ridge line to where that walker is. From there I should be able to see the path, and you can see it further down on the left of that stream down there. Path comes out here. It's getting a bit faint. I'm going to follow round straight ahead, and you can see a walker over there. So go round and probably bend round this little hill ahead of me. Go round its right hand side, bending to the left. Path back there were a little bit faint as it crossed between the two main paths. But now that I'm on this path, it's nice and clear, and it'll just take you straight out back to the car park. From here it's about 5 kilometres back to the car park, estimated to take about 1 hour and 20 minutes. Navigations should be straightforward. Follow this path down until it joins the next path ahead, and then turn to your right. You'll come to a little cairn, and we're really just keeping straight ahead, but it's to the right as this path cuts across. There are some nice waterfalls and plunge pools on this stream as well. Making good progress. I can see the car park from here. Shouldn't be too much longer. Passing that cottage, you get onto quite a nice gravel road, which is a lot easier to walk on than the rocky off-road path I've been on for the last hour or so. You can turn right here and that'll take you back to the Skye. You can also go straight on, which takes you out at the other lay-bys slightly further to the left, and then walk down the road to the Skye. I'm going to do that. It's just a bit easier to walk on. Main road here, I'm going to turn right and just walk down facing the traffic. Look at the Skye car parking lay-by. 7 hours since leaving. Another excellent walk with great weather. As always, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I look forward to showing you more in the next one. Bye for now.